Marcus Rashford's almost been the forgotten man this season. He hasn't played a single minute yet. He's arguably our most important player. Here are 5 reasons why Marcus Rashford coming back from injury puts us right back in the title mix. Number 1, Marcus Rashford gets goals. He scored 21 goals last season, only second to Bruno Fernandes in United's squad. So far this season, only 4 goals have been scored by United's wingers, and 3 of those were by Mason Greenwood in the first 3 games of the season. We are lacking goals from out wide. It is as simple as that. Martial isn't inputting. Mason Greenwood's output, whilst good, has slowed down so far this season, and Jadon Sancho is yet to find the mark as well. Marcus Rashford brings that, and last season, we can look at the 21 goals he scored. The season before that, 22 goals. Back-to-back 20-goal seasons for Marcus Rashford. He brings goals. And you've got to think as well, a lot of those games he played in the last couple of seasons, he had injuries, he had niggling problems. Hopefully, all of those will be gone with this extended period and surgery that he's had. Number 2 then, and this sort of goes hand in hand with the goals, he's United's second best creator as well. He got the second most assists behind Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United last season with 15. And here's a stat for you. Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial and Jadon Sancho, United's current 3 wingers, have registered 0 assists this season. Now, Paul Pogba's got a few from out wide, but we all know Paul Pogba isn't a winger like Marcus Rashford is. We need that creativity from wide, and he brings that. Yes, occasionally he can look a little bit frustrating when he's running into those blind alleys, when he's running at defenders and getting the ball poked off his toe, but we know Marcus Rashford brings danger. We know he brings goals. We know he brings assists, and even when he is running down those blind alleys, at least he is trying things. He is doing things that other players aren't doing. He is bringing fear and excitement in those games. Marcus Rashford is a huge miss when it comes to creativity. Number 3 then, and this leads on from our last one. How does Marcus Rashford create his chances? He uses his pace. We'll get onto some dribbling stats in just a minute, but let's just have a look at that pace first of all. Yes, Paul Pogba, who's been filling in on that left-hand side, has got great on-the-ball attributes. His passing arguably better than Marcus Rashford's, but he doesn't have that searing pace. He doesn't help us on the counter-attacks the way Paul Pogba did. I think it was the Villa game where we saw Bruno Fernandes driving forward with the ball on a counter-attack, Edinson Cavani and Cristiano Ronaldo joining him. But Cavani didn't have the pace to make that run, make that overlapping run, and create space for Bruno Fernandes. Rashford has that. He can stretch defences when it comes to counter-attacks, and he can also start attacks himself with the way he drives at the opposition. That's the thing. Rashford's speed not only creates chances for himself, but it makes us a more rounded attacking team. United scored so many goals from the counter-attack last season, and this year we've struggled to find those movements and to link those pieces together. With Marcus Rashford back in the team, we can do a lot more in attack. We can score counter-attacking goals, we can set goals up, we can score from the edge of the box. We are more well-rounded when Marcus Rashford is in that team. And not just does his pace create chances for himself, it also creates space for his teammates. If you're driving at a fullback, that fullback is turned, facing his own goal, the centre-back has to come across, and all of a sudden, there is space for your teammates to occupy in the middle of the box. That is what Marcus Rashford does so well. He uses his pace, not just for him, but to create that space to then allow the passes into the box and people to score easy tapping goals. Number 4 then, Marcus Rashford gets the crowd going. And this is one of those things where you say, well, that isn't a stat. What does that mean? What he does is he brings an added excitement, not just to the crowd, but to the players around him with his style of play. Marcus Rashford is direct. There's no 2 ways about that. He's in the top 7% of progressive carries, he's in the top 3% of dribbles completed, and in the top 13% of progressive passes. That means whether it's at his feet or whether he's passing the ball, he gets the ball forward better than almost anyone in Europe's top 5 leagues. And that's not just off the pitch in the stands where the fans get behind the team that little bit extra. His teammates see his style of play, and again, it bigs people up, it builds people up. You saw too often over the last few weeks, people standing still, people waiting for the ball to come to them. Marcus Rashford pushes the team forward. He makes people make runs, and if they don't, he'll make those runs himself. His style of play is so critical to the way Manchester United play. And finally then, number 5, let's just get into some stats. Marcus Rashford in the big games is huge. Let me just read you these statistics. Against Chelsea, he's got 5 goals and 3 assists. Against Liverpool, 5 goals and 1 assist. He's got 4 goals against City, 4 goals against Leicester, 3 against Tottenham, 3 against PSG in 3 different games, including that famous penalty, of course. He's also got 3 goals against RB Leipzig, which was that hat-trick in the second half, and another 2 goals and 2 assists versus Arsenal. Simply put, he is a big game player. And when you look at the fixture list coming up for Manchester United, it is horrific. We've got Leicester, we've got Atalanta twice, we've got Liverpool, we've got Spurs, and if that wasn't bad enough, we end that run with a game against the champions Manchester City. Marcus Rashford is huge in these games. We know he can do it against the big teams, and you see there, he can do it consistently against the big teams, and that is such a big attribute to have, especially for someone so young. So as you can see there, that is all the reasons why Manchester United are desperate for the return of Marcus Rashford. Will he fix all of our problems? No. If there are coaching problems, is he going to be able to fix those by himself? No. But what he does is makes us a better team. People almost seem to forget, with the addition of Ronaldo, of Varane, of Sancho, that Marcus Rashford has been Manchester United's probably second best player for the last 2 seasons, only behind Bruno Fernandes. He is a huge part of what Manchester United are all about. He sets the tempo in those attacks. He is the one that people are scared of. You saw against Liverpool in pushing Trent out of the way. You saw against City in pushing Kyle Walker out of the way, pushing Van Dijk away as well. This is a player that oppositions not just worry about, they are scared of him. We saw the 0-0 at Old Trafford where Liverpool didn't want to attack Manchester United because they were scared of a hobbling Marcus Rashford on the halfway line. That is how dangerous he is. So let me know in the comments whether you think Marcus Rashford can be the difference to Manchester United getting out of this tough run of form we have seen recently. And even if he isn't going to make all the difference, because as we know, he's one of United's most productive players. I think he was the 4th or 5th highest goals and assists of anyone in Europe last season. He's a brilliant player, and I think we've almost overlooked just how much we have missed Marcus Rashford. Whether you think Marcus Rashford can make the difference in the Premier League and the Champions League this season or not, one thing we can all agree on is that it is great to see him return to fitness. And after the international break, he will be back. And my word, do we need him. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you in a bit.